you got to set those goals. And I think that's one thing to really get out of all that. Ended up playing in the minors for a few years. And that's where it just really got into, okay, I'm studying this great. The financial crash had happened when I was leaving state, going into the minors. And then that's when it just became, really me questioning everything, which leads up to the last 10 years of the modern day, which is really is what is going on? Why am I here? I'm just playing a game. And as you get older, like when you're a kid, you're only like, I'm playing football and stuff like that. It's all you're thinking of. It's like, I'm playing hockey, I'm playing football, I'm playing sports, I'm doing whatever, I'm playing my instrument. It's all you think of, like you're not doing anything other than like, oh, I just that is life. Well, as you get older, and then I'm 22, 23, 24, I'm like, man, there's just a lot more to life. I'm starting to get hurt and things like that. I'd never been hurt in my life before. And I was very fortunate in that regard. So I was starting to get hurt and I was like, man, what do I want to do? I want to be able to walk and think when I'm 40 years old and have kids and be able to do things with them. And I'm only playing a game, like I'm not giving back to society at all. And that's where I started thinking about a lot of different things that, again, like I said to you off air, I'm an odd dude. I mean, you're 22, 23. Why am I thinking about things like that?
Yeah.
It was just always when I was 14, I was thought that way. And it wasn't cool in high school. It's cool now to think more like that when you're older, when you have kids and things like that. But when you're 14, your friends, no one thinks it's that cool. It's like, okay, there's that moron in the corner who won't drink the beer because he's thinking about like, whoever, someone's going to come attack the house, like just crazy, ridiculous stuff. So, anyway, that led me up to like, boom, the crash happened. I'm getting into the minors and I'm just studying like crazy. There's a game being played on all of us, the monetary, fiscal policy, all these things. What is money? What is going on? And boy, does there a game being played. I mean, it started with reading Creature from Jekyll Island about the Federal Reserve, all this stuff. And you realize very, very quickly, wow, there's a game being played on us every single day. Every time you open your wallet, every time you spend something, there's a game being played. And you can either be on the right side of it or the wrong side of it. And most people are on the wrong side of it. And that's where, it just became an obsession in the last 10 years of figuring out how do we, get on the right side of it? How do we become our own bank? By house hacking, things like that. How, investing in real estate, becoming your own bank and printing your own currency, then acquiring actual assets with our currency, which is, gold and silver, real estate, maybe high dividend, yielding stocks, things like that, actual assets, actual things of value instead of pieces of paper. So once I started really learning that stuff, then it really just changed my life and my perspective on what I was doing. Got into really got into real estate. I was in building construction management at Michigan State, actually, and then ended up in like poli-sci and then economics and pre-law and graduated with that. But I really got into real estate over the next few years and started doing realty. Never thought I'd be a real estate agent or get my license, but I ended up doing that. Got into it for a few years, bought our first rentals, stuff like that, had some stuff. But really, 2015, we got our duplex we live in, house hacking that. But then for like 4 or 5 years, I just really got into the gauntlet of just doing retail real estate, telling myself a story really of, hey, the market's super hot, just focus on retail, make good money, and then wait for the crash. And that's really what I've done in the last 4 or 5 years. And then the last year, everything kind of switched again. And I was like, you know what? I don't know how long this market might do this for the next 10 years. And at this point, I don't know, it might. I mean, the Fed's going to keep doing things that they're going to keep propping it up, and it might go for another 10 years. We're going to see some really crazy things happen this decade. And so I was like, you know what? I got to revamp my team. So we've kind of turned the Titanic from a retail team to a little bit more of an investing focused team, wholesaling, helping sellers with their options, whether it's wholesaling, it might be listing retail, maybe a cash offer, quick in, quick out, lease options with them, or whatever it might be, whatever makes sense for them. And then we can go do what we need to do with it on the back end. They get to do what they choose. I mean, really at the end of the day, they get to pick and choose what they want. We kind of give them a menu and they kind of order up what they want. And that's what we've done over the last year to almost 2 years, actually, basically 2 years. We've been doing that. Got great feedback from sellers. And now it's really focusing on back towards rental real estate and putting ourselves in a position to, flourish, not just now, but really when, again, the crash comes. That's when I'm really trying to prep for is that.